reason this is supernatural is because there's no explanation of the dreadful event that happened. I really hope you'll believe me. School has ended for us, and the winter holidays are finally here. Me and my three friends, Stan, Jacob, and Bernice, were planning to have a sleepover at Jacob's large house. Jacob's house was huge indeed. 3 floors, each floor was very big, longer than all of the upstairs. Best of all, he had a TV for each floor for every room. At around 6 p.m., Stan, Darius, and I arrived at Jacob's house with our Xboxes and our game night sleepover. We took our rooms and set our Xboxes there. We were all ready to play Modern Warfare with our snacks and drinks as we used our voice chat to communicate in game. For the first 30 minutes of our Modern Warfare team vanquish match, everything was going good and perfectly normal when I had a horrifying hallucination. In a flash, the room had blood dripping from the walls and staining it, and then it flashed back to normal. I felt a bit uneasy as I rubbed my eyes, and right at that moment, someone joined our Garden Warfare team and also the voice chat. Since we were on the plant team, that player played as a sunflower, and it was a sunflower skin we had never seen before. It had black hollow eyes, red petals, dark green leaves, and a stem with blood dripping from its eyes and mouth. This person's gamer tag went by the name of Darkflower. Suddenly, Darkflower started to speak. The person was a female, about our age, 18. She didn't say her name, but she did talk to us. She was friendly, and throughout the game, she tried to flirt with us one by one. I didn't really care because I had a crush on someone and the rest of us had girlfriends, so no one fell for it, except for Jacob. He started having a full-blown conversation, slowly leading all of us out. It was fun at first when we were all playing, but when both of them started talking to each other and ignoring us, this made it less interesting, and so we decided to get up for the night and head to bed. From that day onwards, every day now Jacob would always play Battle Warfare while talking to Darkflower. For the winter holidays, we were all planning to do many fun things, but the fact that Jacob isn't coming and hanging out with us lately is just disappointing. He's always in his room, 24/7, playing Garden Warfare with Darkflower and talking to her on Discord. His parents had given him a chance to do anything. His parents don't seem to care because he's old enough to take care of himself. All I'm saying is him locking himself in his room, 24/7, chatting with his girl. It's just unhealthy. This is not like the Jacob I used to know. 3 months later, Jacob's little brother told us that Jacob and Darkflower had become a couple. He heard that both say I love you one night in Discord. Days after Jacob and Darkflower became a couple, he has never stepped foot outside his room, except for food and water. Jacob is now always talking to her in his room on Discord every day, and it's just bad for him. I went to his house one day to check on him, and sure enough, he was on his Xbox, playing Garden Warfare with Darkflower while talking to her on Discord. He muted the call and then talked to me. His eyelids were black from the lack of sleep, and his eyes were red. Dude, do you even sleep? I asked him. Just tell what my life looked like, Jacob. I talked to Jacob about the fact that it's bad for his mental and physical health staying in this room obsessed with this girl. The moment Jacob heard me say that, he got mad and went into a frenzy. He held onto my neck and said, "You talk crap about Darkflower, and I'll have your heart, and I'll crush it." I backed up, scared. This wasn't the Jacob I knew. I believed that Darkflower was trying to do something with him, manipulating him under her control. Jacob was a good, friendly, and kind guy, but after that day when Darkflower joined our game, Jacob's personality just changed. I excused myself and left him to continue talking to Darkflower in his room. I can't help him unless he tries to help himself. One night, I was at home playing some Modern Warfare on my Xbox. As I hit a Garden Ops match, to my surprise, I saw Jacob and Darkflower on the front side. I was playing zombies. Jacob and I didn't really talk that much after the fight we had that day, so we just played against each other while trying to capture his heart. But when the match ended, my screen started to flash and my character was teleported to this place. There were bones, blood, and corpses everywhere. I trembled in fear and tried shutting my torso off, but that did nothing at all. As I turned around, I was shocked to see Jacob's character and Darkflower standing next to him, staring at me. Panicked, I yelled into my headphone mic, "What is this? What is going on?" I didn't actually have Discord on, and this wasn't the voice chat anyway. Suddenly, the Darkflower's character started speaking directly to me in a demonic tone. It was I that you with your friend that sources of trust me, the hell is being seduced by darkness. Say goodbye. Jacob's character was slowly putting its hand out for the Darkflower to hold. I tried to stop him, but it was too late. She held Jacob's character's hand, and my game crashed, followed by the sounds of Jacob's distorted scream. Terrified, I got on my Xbox and went straight to Jacob's house. When I got there, I pounded on the door and Jacob's brother immediately opened it, all traumatized with fear as he was crying. I asked him what happened, and he stuttered, She took him! She took him!" I bolted upstairs towards Jacob's room and opened the slightly open door. The room was dark, and blood was everywhere. I turned to the left wall, only to see a big text written in chalk. It read, "Wonder." Minutes later, the police and paramedics came along with Jacob's parents. Paramedics collected the blood sample from his bedroom. They were going to bring it for testing to see if it belonged to Jacob. After several hours of testing, the reports came in. The blood sample DNA did not match anyone from Jacob's family or anyone else. The blood also did not match any blood type and had to be classified as unknown until further research is done. I know what happened, and I know that playing Darkflower and Gunner Warfare did something to Jacob. I'll get to the bottom of this, no matter what it takes. Perhaps the unexplainable will have an explanation one day. For my friend Jacob, I will find you. I never knew trying to find out what happened to Jacob was such a killing
The tails.
The police just believe that this is just the work of a crazy killer who could have already killed Jacob. Then again, there's still that unknown blood sample that the paramedics collected. It was going to be difficult trying to find this so-called Darkflower. Jacob's brother was the only witness at the time, and he claims that whoever it was clutched onto his older brother's face. That was when we ran downstairs and when I arrived. That's about it. Working on this case privately, I know something that the cops do not. All this started when Jacob, Stan, Darius, and I played Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare a few months ago. We decided to start an investigation tonight, where we would go onto Garden Warfare and try to find Darkflower, because the message in Jacob's room mentioned that I was next. Darkflower would definitely be protected. We played a few matches, but we didn't encounter Darkflower at all. After quite some time, I walked downstairs to go get a drink. As I walked out of my bedroom, I witnessed a hallucination I wish I would never see again. The room turns dark as blood seeps through the walls and ceiling, and it went back to normal. Turning around, I see it on my TV in my room. Darkflower has joined up. Tempted to ask her what she did to Jacob, I turned away from my TV to grab my phone to record the evidence she might spill, and I turned back to the TV. I see the same pale-faced flower, the black stem, and the blood-red leaves with blood dripping out of Darkflower's hollow eyes and mouth. I asked her on the voice chat, "Hey, what did you do to my friend Jacob? I know you did something." Darkflower responds to Stan, Darius, and I in the voice chat. She says that she doesn't know who Jacob is, and she doesn't know who I'm talking about, and she has nothing to do with whoever Jacob is at all. She's trying to play mind games, thinking I'm gullible. But then Stan asks me in the voice chat, "Hey, who's Jacob anyway?" Darius then added, "Who are you talking about? We don't have a friend named Jacob at all. Are you tripping?" Things are starting to get weird now. Stan and Darius are serious people, and they wouldn't joke around in serious situations like this. Something is definitely wrong. I asked them both privately on Discord what was going on with them. They respond, "We're being serious. Who's Jacob? And you know? Darkflower's a long-time good friend. Remember when we played Garden Walker a couple months ago? There is something seriously going on here. The match starts and standing there is place with Darkflower and talking the voice chat. I had no choice, so I just played with them, hoping to get at least an answer, or a few. The weird thing was that Stan and Darius talked to Darkflower like friends instead of trying to find out what she did to Jacob while I played with them, concerned and curious. Out of the blue, Darkflower asks me if I've ever joined a cult before. I say no. She then asks me if I've ever seen or witnessed cult activity with my own eyes. I say no again. That's when Darkflower says that I really should be Darkflower. I get up and yell at them in the voice chat. Enough! I know you did something to Jacob. Did you do something to my friends too? Where's Jacob? Where is he? Darius and Stan get all defensive in the voice chat as they try to calm me down. Darius says, calm down, man. What's wrong with you? Stan then says, it's not like she did anything wrong. And she's right. You should get into some cult activity sometime. That's when Darius says, yeah, and after a while, you should offer your soul to the darkness, just like we're gonna do. Right then, the game ends, which then shows a live footage on my TV screen. It's a live recording of Stan in his bedroom, recorded using his webcam. His eyes were red, not from the lack of sleep, but as if he were possessed by a demon or something. He looks right at the camera and grins. At the back of him stood a figure wearing a jacket with a hood on. The figure then slaps Stan from the back with a large knife. I see the blade protruding out of his chest as he was still grinning with blood coming out of his mouth and chest. The video then cuts to another footage, but this one takes place in what looks like Darius' room. And on the floor I see Darius in a pool of his own blood. He looks up at the camera and says, offer your soul to her. You won't regret a thing. I immediately go and shut my console and TV off before heading out of my room in fear, only to realize the door is locked. I try fiddling with the lock, but it won't budge. I'm panicking and terrified because I know Darkflower has dealt with Stan and Darius, and she's definitely coming for me now. As I turn around, I come face to face with the figure that killed Stan and Darius, and presumably the one who took Jacob. It's Darkflower herself. Darkflower still had her hood on, with a bloody knife in hand. I take a step back and ask her, you, Darkflower, what the hell did you do to Jacob? Where is he? She lifts her head and looks at me, and I see her face. She had red hair, along with red eyes. She grins and says, Jacob, hold up here. Let's do something to him. I hope you like it. As if things couldn't get any worse, another person in a dark red jacket steps in front of her from behind. Seeing the figure, my heart skips a beat. It's Jacob, but he looks different. His eyes are red. He has scars all over his face and he has blood on his hair. Without hesitation, he grabs me by the neck. I'm being choked. I can't breathe. I see Darkflower putting her hand out. I think she's gonna grab my face. Yeah.